Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. When I was a kid, my parents divorced, but soon enough, Mom got married again. That's how I met my sister Viola. We didn't get along at first, but then became friends. One late evening, I woke up to strange noises in my room. I jumped out of bed terrified and turned on the light. My eyes had not yet had time to get used to the light when my mother burst into the room and started shouting at me. Half asleep, I didn't even understand why. But then I saw some guy on the edge of my bed. He suddenly blushed and jumped out the window. I swear it was the first time I ever saw him, but Mom didn't believe me and took away my pocket money for a whole month. I couldn't sleep all night because of such injustice. In the morning, I knocked on the door to Viola's room. Why the hell did your boyfriend barge into my room? Jenny, I'm sorry, I heard Mom's footsteps and made Bruce leave through the window. Jumping from the second floor would have been too high, so he climbed over to you. I got in trouble because of you? Go and tell Mom the truth. Here's the thing, I'm pregnant, only Bruce knows about it. I don't want our parents to know yet, please don't tell them. That was quite unexpected. I imagined the faces of Mom and Dad after such news and felt sorry for Viola, but I still advised her not to take too long to tell them the truth. After all, everything would soon become clear without any words. The shock even made me lose my appetite. I refused to eat breakfast and went to school. But then, someone called my name. I looked around and saw Bruce. He was sitting in a red convertible and waving at me. Get in, I'll give you a ride. Well, as an apology for yesterday. I was angry at him, but I also felt lazy and didn't want to walk, so I agreed. At first we drove in silence, but then Bruce started cracking jokes, and I softened a bit. He turned out to be a nice guy, and I was even happy for my sister. But when we parked near the school, Bruce suddenly came up to me and kissed me on the cheek. I was so surprised I couldn't find any words to say. I just jumped out of the car and loudly slammed the door. Had he just hit on me? Or was it my imagination? It sure seemed like he had. I sat through all the classes feeling anxious. My friend Sarah eventually asked me what the matter was. When I explained, she told me I should tell everything to my sister. I decided that it would be the right thing to do. And when I came home, I laid everything out to Viola. But to my surprise, she just laughed. Stop making things up, Bruce loves me. You just don't have a boyfriend, so you're jealous. That really pissed me off. I didn't want to stay at home with my naive sister, so I went to the mall to get my mind off things. Shopping helped. I felt better and decided to just forget about what had happened, so as not to worry about my pregnant sister. But as soon as I got to the house, I saw Bruce's car again, and realized that I couldn't just let him get away with it all. I turned on a recorder and opened the gate like nothing had happened. He called me again. Hello again. Wanna go for a ride? What do you want from me? Viola told you everything. I don't care, I like you anyway. I clenched my fists and quickly ran into the house. My sister was doing something on her laptop in her room. I slammed it shut and turned on the recording. Well, do you believe me now? Viola buried her face in the pillow and burst into tears. She was shaking all over. I tried to calm her down, but my sister didn't react in any way. I felt horrible for her and suggested we punish him. At first, Viola refused, but then she looked up from the pillow and said, well, he has one weakness. His new car. My sister gave me Bruce's address and I started to think about ways to mess with this car. In the end, I couldn't come up with any better ideas and just scratched it. The whole next day at school, I was terribly worried, and eventually blew up at a poor nerd. Fred came up to me in the cafeteria and asked me out on a date on a roof after school. I couldn't stand heights and rudely rejected the guy. His timing was awful. The more time passed, the more afraid I got. During the gym class, I was constantly feeling out of breath. Even the teacher had already left. I went back to the empty locker room, took a shower, and was about to change. All of a sudden, I saw some weird clothes lying there instead of mine. I unfolded them and immediately understood everything. It was the costume of the crazy criminal Jinx from the TV series Arcane. Fred was such a fan that his entire bag was covered with badges with Jinx's face. I had no doubts left. He was the one who had stolen my clothes and put that costume there as payback for my rejection. However, it was even better that way. Nobody would recognize me in such an outfit, which would be great if I got filmed by a surveillance camera. I put on my costume and headed to Bruce's house. Luck was on my side. He left the car at the gate. I hid around the corner and took out my nail scissors. But then, there was a loud bang. Fireworks exploded in the back seat. Smoke started pouring out. Bruce ran out of the house, grabbed his head, and slowly sank down on the lawn. Panic seized me. I had to get out of here. Fast. My heart was pounding as I ran home. I couldn't wait to tell my sister everything. I burst into her room. I was around the corner and there was a car, fireworks, a nightmare. What have you done? I thought you'd just mess up the car a little. You went too far. My sister didn't believe me once again. I tried to explain what had really happened, but she silently handed me her tablet. A local TV channel was broadcasting a video of someone in the same strange outfit as me throwing pyrotechnics into the car. After a while, the fireworks started. Now, the culprit was wanted by the police. I had tears in my eyes. Someone had obviously set me up, but only my sister had known about my plans. What if... Did you do it? Why? Why did you set me up? Hey, what are you talking about? I wanted to punish Bruce myself. Besides, I've been home all day. If you don't believe me, ask our parents. Viola told me I should change my clothes and run away from home. After all, that's where cops would come first after figuring out it had been me. But then there was a knock on Viola's door. We heard Mom's voice. There was no time to change. I jumped out of the window and ran outside. The last thing in the world I wanted to do was involve my parents. I decided to deal with the whole weird situation myself. I just didn't know where to hide from the police. While they were looking for me all over the city, I wandered into some empty street, but it quickly grew dark and became scary there. I settled down on a bench in a small, lighted square and soon started to fall asleep. Suddenly, through a dream, I heard voices. Over here, I see her. I opened my eyes and saw the policeman approaching me. I jumped up and ran in the opposite direction. Everything was blurring before my eyes from fear and tears. I didn't know how much time had passed before I found myself near a dump. When I saw a mountain of empty boxes, I hid behind them and held my breath. It seemed I had lost them. Suddenly, someone shone a light right in my face. I squeezed my eyes shut and covered my face with my hands. Please, sir, don't arrest me. I didn't do anything. I'm not guilty. You'll never guess what happened next. The policeman suddenly spoke, in Bruce's voice. Don't worry, give me your hand. Bruce, I swear I didn't touch your car, trust me. Jenny, I don't blame you, you just don't remember anything. Viola told me you have problems with your head, amnesia I think. I suddenly felt like I was dreaming. What on earth are you talking about? What problems? And then Bruce told me something so insane. I'm studying at the police academy. A month ago, Viola came to our prep courses. She wanted to get in so much that she asked me to become her tutor. We had a couple of tutoring sessions at your house, and I saw your pictures on the walls. I liked you right away, even more so after seeing you in the window. I asked Viola to introduce me to you, but she said that I should stay away from you because you had amnesia and kept forgetting everything, even the things that had just happened a day ago. But I decided to get to know you anyway. I was so shocked I even stopped blinking. After recovering a bit, I told Bruce the whole truth from beginning to end about my sister's pregnancy, my grievances, and, of course, the stupid fireworks that had scared me no less than him. We realized that Viola had deceived me and then set me up. All that was left was to find out why she had done it and who had actually destroyed Bruce's car. We took a taxi home. I kicked the door to my sister's room open. She was painting her nails like nothing had happened. I got so angry, I grabbed a bottle of nail polish and poured it over her head. Tell me everything now. This time, only the truth. Viola sniffed, lowered her eyes to the floor, and spoke. I overheard our parents' conversation and found out that they would only be able to pay for college tuition of only one of us. They decided to give the money to you. After all, you've always done better at school. I hated you. You know how long I've been dreaming of going to a police academy? I decided to prove to Mom and Dad that I was worthy too. I met Bruce at the prep courses and fell in love. But he liked you. I couldn't accept it. You took away both my chance to go to college and my boyfriend. That's why I decided to get rid of you. I just didn't know how. But one day, I met a girl at the academy. We got to talking. It turned out she was your classmate Sarah, Bruce's sister. That day, her parents had asked her to bring dinner to her brother. I was thinking of getting closer to Bruce with Sarah's help, but she said she hated him. Their parents had given him a car for his birthday, and she had only got a diary. The common misery united us, and we came up with a plan to punish you both. When Bruce and I were studying in my room, we heard Mom's footsteps. I said that Mom would understand why he was there and sent him out through the window. I lied that there is an empty guest room next to mine, and then I sent Mom to your room on purpose. She saw Bruce on your bed and punished you. I was hoping that Mom and Dad would pay for my studies, but they just took away your pocket money instead. That's when I decided to set you up for something big. I lied to Bruce and said you weren't right in the head and lied to you about my pregnancy. While you were feeling sorry for me, I suggested we thrash his car. You went for petty hooliganism, but I needed something more than that. Something that would make you leave home for a very long time. Sarah and I knew you'd be on the edge that day, so she told that nerd Fred to call you up on the roof. You're very predictable, Cess. You snapped at the poor guy who didn't even know how afraid of heights you were. After gym class, Sarah prepared Jinx's costume for you. You blamed that fanatic Fred for everything, just like we had planned. Well, everything after that was easy. Sarah changed into the exact same Jinx costume, planted fireworks in Bruce's car, and set them off while you were hiding behind the fence. When the police came, Sarah described you to them in detail. They used the cameras to track you down, but I didn't think Bruce would find you or that you would talk. Everything was supposed to end differently. Bruce patted me on the shoulder encouragingly. I silently left the room room and came back a few seconds later with the documents. Look, this is my scholarship. A college found out about my projects and offered to pay for my studies. I don't need the money, and I don't need such a sister either. That day, I lost my sister and my friend. Viola begged me to forgive her many times, but I pretended that she didn't exist. Soon, she packed up her things and moved in with some guy. Bruce also moved out of his parents' house. He graduated from the academy, became a cop, and is now saving up for a new car. He is currently renting an apartment near my house. He recently proposed to me, and we're preparing for a wedding. I found out from my mom that Viola had got pregnant from her new boyfriend and waved goodbye to her dream of going to the academy. A couple of days ago, she came to our house with a little daughter in her arms. She had named her Ginny after me. Viola burst into tears and asked me to forgive her for everything she had done. I couldn't forgive her right away, but I think I'll be able to do it over time. And what is your relationship with your siblings? Tell us in the comments below.